Hello guys, it's me again, yeahhhhhh, and this sucks. And I'm back again with the Hitoshi Shinso ex-listener U+Me. So this will be episode part two of U+Me, and I kind of like this story because it's so good. So yeah, let's go on to the story. I'm gonna read. The bell rang as loud as a siren as I watched the whole class scramble to get up and exit the classroom. I let out a short sigh and turned to my teacher, ready to ask him to eat with me. He quickly shut me up by sighing back to me though. YN, I'm not gonna let you two be loner and eat lunch with me. I pouted, but I understood where he was coming from. Who am I supposed to sit and eat with them? The air? I replied. What about Ochako and Mina? Weren't you just talking to them? Yeah, but I don't know, okay? YN, you can be such a baby sometimes. I crossed my arm and looked down at my feet. Just sit with someone who's also alone. Two loners together. What could go wrong? I knew Aizawa wasn't going to ease up and let me sip with him, so I accepted my defeat. Okay. I'm going now. I slowly made my way towards the exit, only to spin around once I felt my hand rest upon the door. Last chance? I stated, but it came out more like a question. He only shook his head and brought back his focus to his paperwork. I sighed and made my way towards the lunchroom, mentally preparing myself for the awkwardness that was about to overcome me. I scanned the buzzing cafeteria. I couldn't help but notice that pretty much every table was taking their corresponding click. I wandered further, my hope fading away every step until I came across a boy. He was sitting alone at a table for two, poking at his food. It was the most uninterested thing in the world. I couldn't help but gawk at his indigo hair. It was huge and fluffy like a lion. Once I finally mustered up the courage, I plopped me and my food down upon the table. The sudden movement caused the quiet boy's gaze to fly up towards my own. I stared for a second before realizing this is when I'm supposed to introduce myself. Hi, my name's LNFN, I told him sheepishly. Do you mind if I sit with you? The boy scanned me for a few seconds before huffing out what sounded like okay, and continued to play with his food. You can call me YN, by the way. The indigo boy peered back up only to be met with my bright smile. I noticed his face fade into a pink color. I had to admit that it was kind of cute. Shinso Hitoshi. I nodded and began to eat my lunch until I couldn't help but notice awkward silence between the two of us. So, are you a first-year student? I managed to spit out. He didn't remove his gaze from his food, but he did reply. Yeah, 1C. Are you a first year? He questioned. I audibly nodded in response. My answer finally caused him to focus his attention to me. How come I've never seen you around before? I just transferred here today into 1A. I've been trying to familiarize myself with my peers, which is going slower than anticipated. but I'm working on it. I mentally face palmed myself for stuttering like that in front of such a cute guy. Cute guy? What the hell am I saying? I mean, I'm not wrong, but I just met him. Oh, well, I'm surprised they took someone so late in the year. He frowned in the slightest bit. Yeah, that makes the two of us. I chuckled. I began to chow down into my food again until I couldn't help but feel that someone was staring me down. I slowly tilted my head up, only to see Shinso staring at me. This caused my face to turn quite red. Is there something on my face? I laughed nervously. I was praying there wasn't any food in my face. I didn't want him to think that I was a slob. No, I just think you're quite pretty. That's all. Wow, that definitely wasn't what I was expecting him to say. He's so blunt. Are you okay? Did I say something wrong? I saw his face go from calm to concern in a matter of a few seconds until I realized that my face was red. Like, red at this moment. I could read him as easily as a picture book. He didn't have many friends, therefore wasn't very good at social interaction. No. You didn't. I started. He looked at me as if to say, go on. I didn't expect that. That's all. That was very sweet of you, though. So, thank you. I smiled a goofy yet appreciative grin as he smiled back. Cute. Honestly, the best policy, right? He chuckled. I laughed along with him, and we talked for the remainder of the lunch period. The bell rang its usual blaring noise as me and Shinso finished our conversation. You know, I haven't enjoyed someone's company like this in a while. Thank you for joining me, he said, taking my tray and stacking up on his. It was no problem. I really enjoyed too. Speaking of which, I replied, grabbing my phone and opening up a new contact. Can I have your number? I'd love to talk more. I smiled, handing him my phone. The indigo-haired boy hesitated for the slightest moment before taking my phone into his hands and entering in his info. He handed the device back to me a few seconds later. See ya, YN. I smiled and waved to him as he waved back. I looked down to my phone screen and my grin grew 100 times wider. Shinso has been added to your contacts. Dad! I yelled from his floor. The door swung open and staring down at me was my father, pissed at me for screaming at him before his afternoon nap. What? I made a new friend at lunch. I smiled, shoving the contact against his face. A boy? Eh? He asked, a sly grin growing steadily across his face. You better not mess around too much, YM. What? What are you talking about? I asked my father, clearly flustered. I know how you get around boys. You think they're cute. You get all flirty and shit. It's gross. And you know, I think he's cute. How do you know I think he's cute? Huh? A wild assumption. I huffed and made a beeline towards my dorm, but not before yelling back at my father, who knows me way too well. I don't get all flirty and shit. So that's the end of part 2 of Shinso X Listener U+Me. Lunchtime Rambles. Okay, thanks guys for watching. I hope you like and subscribe. And tap the bell for notifications of the latest updates. Bye guys. Bye. Take care.